the sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest running TV fishing show.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Let me ask you this. Don't you like to receive information? Hey, hold on a second. Let me rephrase that statement. Don't you like to receive good information? Well, if that's the case, you're gonna really like our show today. Webster defines information as a knowledge gained through study, communication, research, instruction, or facts. You know, I was mighty pleased this past Christmas when my wife Diane gave me one of these new Amazon Echoes. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Collierville, it's 75 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, a high of 75 degrees with cloudy skies, and a low of 63 degrees.
Looks like a good day. Alexa, what's the most productive depth?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Well, Alexa can't answer everything about fishing, but who can? You know, when it comes to angling, no one knows it all, but it sure is fun trying. Tell you what, come on, let's go fishing. And in the process, we'll try to store some useful data like our friend Alexa. Wonder if you want to go with us?
Feminine third person, singular personal pronoun in modern English.
Okay, I'm trying to talk English. I wonder if she'd like to go with us. I tell you what, that might be a little tough trying to find a PFD that fits her. Come on, let's go. Well, you don't have to ask Alexa this fishing question for an answer. Ask Bill. Bill, I notice you sit down and fish sometimes, and other times you're standing. All the pros I see are standing. Are there advantages to sitting? Well, standing is a real advantage when you're pitching or flipping or working in close to cover with a long rod. When seated, I don't rush as much, and I can actually get a better horizontal presentation with slow presentation lures like worms, jigs, and creature baits. My lower angle of attack also improves my feel as the lure contacts cover. You know, it really gets to what your personal preference is. I'm just more comfortable sitting. I'm relaxed, I don't get near as tired. I used to stand a lot, but I'm more comfortable sitting, so I sit. Hold that big boy. Under the boat he goes. And out from under the boat he goes. All right, come up here and say, ah. There you go. There's a little buzzer. Let me show you what we're fishing with. This is a prototype of a product that Bass Pro's fixing to introduce. It's called a humping toad buzz, and they'll have it out pretty soon. This is a bait they've had out for a while, their humping toad. So what they're doing with it now, they're putting it on a buzz bait frame. So it's called a humping toad buzz, and we've got it rigged with a trailer hook with a little keeper on right here to keep the hook from coming off. And they'll also introduce it in a speed shed version. Had this product out for years, several years anyway, in a 3.8 and a one a little over 4 inches long. So they'll have it in the humping toad version, and they'll also have it in a speed shed version. So you can check it out. It should be out sometime in the near future.
Bill Dance Outdoors is sponsored in part by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly. Today's conditions log is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
Of all the techniques used for catching bass, most anglers will agree that nothing even comes close to the sheer heart-pounding excitement of topwater. Now, it's the only method where the angler is actually able to see the strike on a consistent basis. Also, it seems that one is seldom completely ready for the strike, no matter how intense the level of concentration. A bass exploding on a lure and a shower of spray can be, and is, an awesome sight to behold. Pretty little old fish there. There it is. Nice little bass. Yes, you are. What are the most important elements in crankbait fishing? Well, color, size, and shape are very important. But to me, there are two that are much more important. One is depth and the other is speed. Now, these two controls are the most important controls a fisherman has at his disposal. Depth is critically important. If the lure is not worked on the fish's depth level, it may not strike unless the bass is extremely active. Getting the lure down to his depth level is just as important as making an accurate cast to him. Recognize that once the lure is down, your retrieve, whether fast or slow, should always be erratic. You have to vary your retrieve to determine the fish's mood at that time. Once the lure is down, tell you what you need to do. You need to try slow to fast, or fast to pause to fast, or even fast to slow to stop to fast. The key words are speed and control, and once you learn the best speed at that time, depth and location, stay with it, because this pays off handsomely. I'll guarantee it. Whoa. I don't know how you could be hungry. Look down his throat. See that big tail? Big shiner or something. Fat, pretty fish. Alrighty, here's a good warm water question. How important is finding the more oxygen-rich water when fishing during the dog days of summer? Well, it's very important. Fish, first of all, need it for survival, and second, they prefer to be in oxygen-rich water, and getting an accurate reading on the oxygen content is a definite plus that'll keep you from wasting a whole lot of unproductive time and fishing unproductive water. Also, take note of the wind. It can add oxygen to waters, and sometimes, especially when it's hot, wind-swept shallows hold more fish because the oxygen levels are higher. There he is. He's in that moss. I can just get him out of it. Bury it. There he comes out. Not a big fish, but boy, I'll tell you one thing, I thought it was a whale when he hit it. Thought you were a whale, boy.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Quantum Rods and Reels, Mystic Lubricants, Lubrication Domination, and Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Today's equipment log is brought to you in part by Fish Defunk. It keeps your hands scent-free and clean so fish can't smell you. Use Fish Defunk unscented while fishing and Fish Defunk scented after fishing to remove all odors. Today's show is sponsored in part by Stren, the standard of dependability since 1958. Lure Lock, turning the tackle world upside down. And Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish find you.
Okay, we know what the humping toad will do, the buzzing humping toad. Let's try the speed shad buzz, the buzzing speed shad. Got it rigged up. Like I say, these are prototypes. They will be manufactured by Bass Pro and they'll be on the shelf real soon if they're not already on the shelf by the time this show airs. Here it comes from behind it. Oh, wasn't that something? Well, you can just take a bow, buddy. You can just take a bow because you're the first bass that's ever been caught on it. Yeah, you can. You can take a bow. There's the first bass that's ever been caught on it, I think. Oh, jump for joy. I put a trailer in it too, same size as the hook and the bait. Now here's a question we've answered before, but it's a doggone good one and it's worth answering again. Why is it so important to put the precise amount of line on your reels? Well, when you fail to fill your reel spool, it requires more revolution of the handle to take up line. It is true. This also means your lure speed is going to be slower when you begin your retrieve after a long cast than it will be as it gets closer to your rod tip. In other words, your lure speed increases throughout the retrieve even though your cranking action remains the same. Now, still talking reels, if you overfill the spool or put too much line on it, then as recommended, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to get a lot of backlashes. It'll also affect your accuracy and control. Something as simple as the amount of line on your reel. Thing's acting like a snook. Boy, can you believe that bass did that? Thing acted just like a snook. I'll tell you something. They like that thing. Yes, they do. That's a pretty fish. Yes, sir. Okay, boy. Say bye-bye. Let me tell you, there are a few tricks that can be performed to make a good buzzbait better. If it's got the proper sound, and if it's fished with the correct presentation in an ideal location at the right time, well, you better hang on. Now, speaking of presentations, let's discuss it. Buzzbaits produce best at a slow speed. The slower you can present it, the more attractive it's going to be, and the easier it's going to be for the fish to get it. The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week is brought to you by Mystic Lubricants and their complete line of JT4 marine products. A full line of products for your full line of pursuits. Visit mysticlube.com today. Can you explain the harmful effects of UV light? Well, the unseen ultraviolet rays are what causes sunburn and eye irritation. Even worse, UV can cause premature development of cataracts, retinal degeneration, and skin cancer around the eyes. Quality polarized sunglasses will filter out UV and shield your eyes from ill effects of the sun.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort. And Motor Guide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. Closed captioning provided by Power Pole, the original shallow water anchor. Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, chart plotter sonar combos. With advanced sonar technology like Chirp and exclusive Panoptix all-seeing sonar, you'll spend less time finding your fish.
I'll never forget one of the many things my grandfather taught me about fishing, and that was being quiet. Maybe he wanted me to hush up so he could concentrate. No, seriously, many times it pays off. And that's why I like this little 4-stroke motor so doggone much. It allows me to idle back through this shallow cover without even spooking a minute.
Come be a part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
Ooh-wee. Good in there. Pretty one. I can't overemphasize the importance of concentration on your retrieve when fishing lures of this type. It's imperative that you establish a rhythm when fishing any type of topwater bait, but especially so when using a buzzbait. Larger bass are not tailored for long pursuit and will not chase a fast-moving lure. Looking back over the years, the big fish that I've been fortunate enough to catch, or should say, the majority of good fish I've been fortunate enough to catch, have been caught by fishing slow presentation baits. Lures like plastic worms, jigs, free-falling spinner baits, slow wobbling crankbaits, and fishing a buzzbait at a slow pace. There's no doubt about it, a slow presentation bait with a lure like this is going to be a lot more attractive, and when a fish does strike it, the slow presentation will enable the fish the chance to get to the lure. Okay, here's one about your graph. Do you feel a sonar ping from your graph transducer spooks or turns off bass? Absolutely not. No way. Maybe other graphs do, but my Garmin units don't. These units send ping sounds at 4,800 feet per second. Now think about the number of crappie that are caught directly under the boat, and all the bass anglers that vertical fish and catch just tons of bass directly under the boat with 2 units firing away. You know, I think at times, I honestly believe that we're overthinking too much. I really believe we are. Yeah, I've caught them in 3 to 4 feet of water directly under my boat with 3 graphs going. The trolling motor running on low and the pressure waves from the boat. Now I'm sure if you're in an aluminum boat with a hammer banging on a crankbait lip in the bottom of the boat, you'll get their attention. There's another. Yep. Yep, they passed the test. Ooh-wee. Come here, big one. Look at that one. Ha ha ha! Yes, sir. You passed the test. And your old buddy, the frog, has too. Look at that. Looked like his brother a minute ago, didn't it? Well, as you can see, both of these baits have passed the test. As far as I'm concerned, they have. Next time you go into Bass Pro, check with the fishing manager and check out these 2 baits. I think you'll be impressed. Okay, well, I hate it when we run out of time, but we'll just have to hate it because that's what's happened. I want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.